Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Gateway Podcast, coming to you from Clarksville, Tennessee, also known as the Gateway to the New South. We are proudly progressive members of the Montgomery County Democratic Party. We're here to bring hope to our community and to connect progressive folk here in Montgomery County with the larger democratic movement. My name is Rebecca Jensen. I'm the communications chair, as well as the interim chair for the Montgomery County Democratic Party, while Ali Phillips is on maternity leave. I'm here with Chaz Offerman, who is our former chair.
Okay, I'm back again.
Yep, here you are. So welcome, Chaz, to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I feel like I've really gotten to know you as we prepared for this one.
I know. We have had a little bonding experience and some technical issues here today, but we are making kind of a little mini episode or minisode, as you will, about our podcast, why we're doing a podcast, what we hope to accomplish with our podcast, what it might look like, who we might have on, and really that kind of thing. So, Chaz, I think this was your idea. Why was that your idea?
Oh, I think so. When we were doing the transition from for doing the new officer elections, I think Christian and I talked about it, our producer, who is unseen right now, but he's here.
He's over there.
We talked about doing one, and it was just too hard to do in the middle of the transition. So I was like, that's something we'll do once we get everybody settled in.
There was a lot going on. Yeah. So why do you think that we need to do a podcast?
We lost in 2024. It was a really brutal loss. And there's been a lot said about the manosphere, the podcast sphere, just like the glut of new media out there that's being consumed. So in elections, when I started getting into them and working them as staff, campaigns would spend probably 75% of their advertising dollars on television broadcast ads every single cycle. That percentage has gone down, and digital ads and other forms of media has gone up. So now TV accounts for just a fraction of what a campaign spends on their advertising dollars, because voters aren't watching TV.
No, you're right. People are not really watching TV, and if they are, they have a lot more opportunity to change the channel.
Yes.
So what are we hoping to do with the podcast is kind of reach people where they are.
Also in my life, like, our newspaper has completely fallen off. No one gets to leave Chronicle anymore. So we need to start building our own media ecosystem. Also, because there's no one really dedicated to covering politics in Montgomery County like this, this is a role for us to do. Let's just build it.
There's an empty space and we're going to be in it.
Yeah.
And I did mention when I posted our previous podcast on social media that we are building a media empire. So we're on, every social media that we can be on, except Twitter, which we don't do for reasons. And we now have a podcast. We have a website. So, we're out there. We're trying to reach people where they're at, instead of being more static with newspaper ads and, more traditional things.
But also, like, our county party has grown beyond what can fit in a meeting. When we started really kind of rebuilding the county party, we would spend an hour on just like what we're doing, updating the members on all the things that we're doing in a month.
Yeah.
Now, if we did that, it would take 2 hours, because we have 8 caucuses and 5 committees and all kinds of events. If you just look at our website on the events tab, it's just page after page of events, and that's just in 1 month. So we just needed more room to tell you our story and what's going on.
We do. So it's kind of like having church online, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So we're reaching people who maybe cannot come to a meeting. We're going to try and reach them in their, on their phone, on their computer.
Yeah. So whether you're a Democrat or not, and you just want to listen, you're just as much a part of this movement as card-carrying Democrats that come to meetings every month.
Yeah. We want to include you. And we are aiming to, record a bunch of different podcasts, tape them, and then have them in the series come out on a regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah. A British person would say series. An American who was born here would say season.
Right.
But yeah, that's
it's true. Yeah.
Rebecca is from Britain. That's why I made that
in
joke.
case you couldn't tell. Okay, cool. So we're going to have a season of podcasts with various people who are from our local area, who are making an impact in the way the Democratic Party operates here in Montgomery County, and more to come. So stay tuned for that. But to kind of move into what we wanted to talk about today, we're going to do a little section that we're going to repeat in our podcast, and it is kind of what is grinding my gears right now, or what is really causing me to have a bee in my bonnet, or we'll work on it.
There's so many things. Yeah. If you have ideas about what our segment could be, about what is pissing us off this week or this month, please drop them in the comments.
What
we will incorporate it.
Annoying me today.
Yeah.
So on this particular day, we're recording our podcast, and I had written the introduction that you heard at the beginning of the podcast, and Chaz asked me, "Did you write that with AI?" I was kind of horrified because I am a person who likes to read and write. And no, I did not write that with AI. I wrote it.
Yeah.
And so we decided to talk a little bit about AI. You've heard it in congressional hearings. The Secretary of Education referred to it as A1, right?
A1, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's not a steak sauce.
It's not a steak sauce. It is artificial intelligence. It's also not a movie. Have you ever seen that movie, Artificial Intelligence?
Oh, no, but I've seen Terminator.
Oh, yeah. Similar. Terminator's kind of the mean side of it. Artificial intelligence is, it's about this little kid robot. It's kind of sad.
Okay.
You should watch it. But anyway, so...
But I'm asking everyone all the time now, when they give a speech or when they write something, did you do that with AI?
Because I kind of feel like it's cheating.
I do. There's a lot of ethical concerns, but what is AI for someone who doesn't know?
What is AI? So AI is artificial intelligence. So basically it's not just one thing, really. It is a software that is built into the apps that we use on a daily basis that will it's basically a learning algorithm.
Yeah, it learns itself.
It's trained. So there are actually jobs out there, and I have when I was looking for a job, because I have been a copywriter in the past, and I was looking for copywriting jobs, and a lot of the jobs that were coming up were for people to actually train the AI. I wanted no part of that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna. It's kind of like training.
What do you think that job consists of? Like, are they talking to it?
No. Well, I think the ones I was looking at, it would be they would give you a subject to write about.
Okay.
You would write about it, and they would feed that into the AI machine. It's not really a machine; it's a virtual machine. But they would, they would scan it into the AI so that it could learn how writers write. And there's a lot of things that we like. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Google has been using our whatever we write on Google.
Yeah, in the Google Docs and the Gmails. That's
Google Docs and Gmails. They are using what we write to train their AI. So you'll notice now if you do use those apps, the Google apps, it's it's great and it's helpful. I don't personally use it, but it will say when you type an email, my Google now will suggest, do you want to polish this? And I've tried it, and it's not really, because I'm a person who is a writer, I didn't feel like it was a big improvement. But some people...
No, it just adds a bunch of descriptive words that are kind of in the way.
Yeah, and for some people, it probably is helpful. I can see how it would be.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that it takes the effort out of making creativity.
Yeah.
So another example would be we do a lot of graphics for social media, for Facebook, Instagram, that kind of thing. And
you see me go off in the group chats about that.
Yeah.
That's the one that, because they all look the same, all the graphics that people make.
Yeah. So people, there's a lot of AI graphics out there. There's a lot of AI content out there. But we generally haven't been using it. But there was one time when I did suggest using it in our communications chat, and a certain person will know what I'm talking about. But we had made an AI representation for an event that we had where it was something that we couldn't really, unless you're actually an artist, it would have been hard to create that. And I posted the image as maybe like a suggestion of what it could be. And the person who is our actual graphic designer, who is a graphic designer for a living, got kind of upset. So
I bet. I 100% understand.
Yes, and I get as a writer.
Sorry, my dog is trying to join us.
Our quad dog over here. So as a writer, I try not to use it, but I get why people would. And I've promised that the graphics that we put out as a party, while I am communications chair, we will not be using AI.
Very appreciative of that.
It is, we will use graphics and elements that are created by a human inside of the app that we use, which is Canva, but we won't use the generative AI, which is what it's called when that's
the difference, is generative AI.
Generative AI is where the computer takes input from various places around the internet and kind of like mixes it up and puts out the output. And you'll know it's not perfect right now, but it's going to be. But right now, if you make an image with AI, they tend to have like 6 fingers, or there'll be something a little bit weird about it. But it is getting better.
In videos I see of people getting out of cars, that's always a big tell for me, because AI can't tell how weak exit a car. So they just you'll see them open the door and the person just hops over and doesn't touch the ground.
Like it's a video game.
Yeah, so it's like a little thing where it doesn't fully understand the human experience, so it just kind of connects the dot in the way that we would.
You're in the car, you're out of the car. How do you get there? The other thing AI does, and there's a lot of it around, is AI voices.
Yeah,
we're hearing that a lot.
Where it recreates the sound of another human.
Yeah. So there's a lot of content on YouTube. I watch YouTube a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it where it's a fake voice, and it's actually pretty hard to tell.
Yeah.
You can usually only tell when there is a word that they don't know how to pronounce, and it comes out a little bit weird.
Yeah, like the jumping out of a car. If there's a missing set of data.
Yeah, it's something that they don't have experience with, and it will mispronounce. But, I mean, it's scary. So how do you use it, or how do you not use it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got so many concerns about it. I put it in 2 different camps. Generative AI, hate, terrible, try not to use at all. AI that will source and use content with the consent of the creator and then bring it to me, fine with that.
Yeah.
I think there's some really cool advancements in medical AI where they are scanning thousands of scans of
cancer,
X-ray, and helping doctors come to conclusions and showing the commonality among different cases.
Yeah,
love that. That is an AI that's contained within a HIPAA system where literally everyone from beginning to end has signed a consent form to participate.
It's used responsibly.
Yes,
it's not that the generative AI that's out there. It's basically scanning the internet, and it doesn't care about copyright.
It's loose on the world. And we're not consenting to it using our stuff.
Yeah. And I think there are actually some lawsuits right now from copyright holders who, Disney is one of them. Because AI doesn't care. It's going to, if you ask it to create an image of, something that's Disney copyrighted, it'll give it to you.
Yeah, I don't feel good about anything that can mimic someone's voice exactly without the consent of that person.
Yeah.
Or take an actor and recreate them in their voice without their consent. That's someone who's, they've created labor and it's being used by some corporation to profit. That person's not seeing that profit. There's plagiarism. There's concerns about it taking jobs, but just the taking stuff without consent from creators bothers me the most. But I don't know if you've seen this. There's been some videos that made the rounds of some town halls in Memphis where XAI is.
Yes, I have seen that.
That's Grok from Twitter.
From Twitter, yeah.
Elon's pet AI. He built, for most of the stories I've read, he's built a factory to house a giant AI, and it is exploding electricity use in Memphis.
Yeah, I saw that documentary, and apparently they have 30 generators that are using gas.
Natural gas, methane.
And there's nobody is putting any limits on how much pollution they're putting out.
Yeah, they did not get the consent of the state or their government. They set them up in secrecy. And now you've got folks who are in their 60s and 70s, never had breathing problems in their life, now reporting asthma.
Yeah.
They say the air smells like chemicals in their neighborhood now. So you've got corporate greed combined with this giant machine literally harming people as we go. So the question you asked was like, how do I approach AI now? I think, there's no good way to ethically participate in our economy. It's just hard to anyway. But I try not to use it to generate anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll use the little AI algorithm that picks up my music, but it's not creating music. So artists are getting paid for the music they're creating, and I'm listening to that, and it's just ordering it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to use it to generate images. If I need to say something, I'll say it myself. I don't need a computer to do that for me. That's weird. It's loser behavior, in my opinion. So like, if you need help, so I'll say this to you if you're listening. If you don't know how to say something or don't know how to give a speech, I would much rather you call me and bother me and ask me to help you write a speech than using AI, because it's just going to take a bunch of other speakers' speeches without their consent and scramble it up and then serve it up on a plate for you.
And I think there's concern as well within education about people or students using AI.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who are teachers.
Oh, every teacher talks about this.
Kids are going to try and use it. And why wouldn't they? It's a new tool, and you can't blame them for it. But really, teachers need to, they are pushing back on it.
Yeah, I think in my day, 20 years ago,
in my day.
I'm 31. But like SparkNotes was it. And like that was the great evil. Or you would just copy and paste a bunch of stuff. And you would get in trouble and you would get zeros and it was a big deal. And I needed that accountability to make myself actually read the material and write.
Yeah.
And so that's what a lot of kids now are facing is they have such a good shortcut that they don't have to learn to write.
If they're super dependent on the technology to do the creation for them, it's not like exercising their brain.
Yeah.
So I'm not a teacher, but I'm a parent. So I have children in the school system, and I don't think any of my kids are using it. But they use it sometimes like for research.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're using it. I hope not anyway. My kids are watching. I hope that they're not using it to write papers and stuff.
Big thing I'll say on the research side, yes, it is a good research tool. Just make sure that you're clicking through what AI brings you to go to the original source, because that is going to be the longest cascading effect is if it just aggregates and then it does it and you don't actually go through the resources, then people are going to lose the incentive to post their research because no one's going to click on it. AI will just scoop it out and serve it to you without you knowing where it came from. So make sure you're still accessing original sources, or else creators will just stop creating.
Yeah, and it just all becomes like a circle of recycling. But that's the thing, when you like look something up online now, it gives you a little AI overview.
Yeah.
Which is actually
that's hard to avoid. I know.
Yeah. So I have used it.
I've caught myself. Okay, there you go. Now I know.
Like it's giving me the answer. You don't need to actually look down to the website. So it's using content from, because you can tell where it came from if you click the first or second result.
Yeah.
It usually has like
a little button with a little link.
It's taking it from that website, so you can tell where it's come from. But if you're in a real hurry and you need to look up, like, what is this bug, or why is my dog acting this way, or something like that, if it's in a hurry, the AI overview is pretty helpful.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm less worried about. The big ethical concerns are like it shooting our electric usage to the roof, it making us more needy for fossil fuels. And then the long-term ethical questions of if it's just going to be rearranging all of our created works, media, then at what point do we just stop making stuff?
Right. And another concern is that it's not always accurate.
No.
There was was it the Department of Health? Apparently used AI, although they deny it, but apparently the Departments of Health used it to create some kind of report, and sometimes AI will generate a very realistic sounding.
It'll make stuff up,
but it's made up. And if we're not careful in researching where the information comes from, it can do that.
Yeah, I do wish there were more warnings about that. In several national pieces, I think 60 Minutes did this. They had some CEOs of some AI companies on, and they all talked about, I think it's called ghosting or
a ghostling person.
Yeah, it will make out of whole cloth brand new information that is made up, not rooted in any kind of reality. And they've had some success reducing the percentage of that happening, but they have not been able to eliminate it.
No, it's there. So I guess that's a fault, and hopefully that somebody's looking into that.
Yeah.
But what about who owns the AI? Why should we be worried about
that? Yeah. I mean, it's the next phase in like corporations taking more and more data. I mean, in some ways, I'd kind of given up on like, well, they've got all my data because it's just like everywhere on my phone.
Yeah.
But AI is probably then not only they're going to have all the data, and they can like use that to suggest ads. Now they can make entirely new ads just for me and just for everyone on their data set. That is something that's different. Because they will know you and have all this data on you as an individual. You're going to have personalized ads, videos, sounds, talking to you with your name because they have all this data and then use it. And so they're going to be able to really, really commodify who you are as a person.
It's kind of dystopian.
Oh yeah. It can get really scary.
Yeah. It's like, I'm thinking of movies that I've seen. Does that like Running Man or something like
that?
Yeah. But yeah, so that is a concern is who owns it? What are they doing with it? So I think me personally, like AI is there and I do use it minimally, but I try not to use it to create brand new content.
Yeah, I'll listen to my music. I got DJ X on the tunes and he's an AI guy. And me and him have a good relationship, but that's about as far as I want to go.
Yeah, that's an algorithm. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not going to be writing papers and speeches and social media posts.
No,
yeah.
We write our own things. All right. Well, that was a fun discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah.
I got it off my chest.
We ground our gears, or we talked about what pissed us off.
Yeah.
All right. So coming back to the podcast.
Yeah.
What is next? Where do we go from here? So this is our first episode. We also have a pilot episode.
It came out earlier this summer.
It came out this summer, yes. And we are lining up guests and other topics.
And we want to do about 8 over the course of 8 weeks or something like that. Go run about 2 months, and then we'll spend some time preparing for the next season. So maybe a fall, like a spring season, something like that.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you see as the goals for this podcast?
So, fun fact about the Montgomery County Democratic Party. We are in a process of strategic planning. We are writing right now it's 13 pages and we're only halfway done.
Goodness.
Strategic plan of what we want to accomplish by the end of 2026. And so we boiled that down into 5 goals. So the goals of the podcast, ideally, match the goals of the party.
We're trying to kind of from the top down have goals where our whole party can be part of it.
Yeah. So what we've identified, what our executive committee has passed, 5 goals: flip, build, push, grow, and challenge. The first one is flip Montgomery County blue at the federal, state, and local levels. Montgomery County Democratic Party is a PAC. It's a political action committee. So its number one goal is elections, winning elections.
Yes.
So it's flip our county blue. So there's probably a lot we can dive into with that.
Yeah. And I think with the podcast we'd like to get some people on here who are currently elected, who are running for re-election, hopefully some candidates at some point. And people.
I think our first guest will be Ronnie Glenn. Our state representative.
State representative for District 67. Yes. He won a very hard fought race in 2024.
Back to back.
Yeah.
151 votes in 2022, 134 votes in 2024.
So very close.
Yeah.
And we also will get some other people who have
hopefully some county commissioners and school board members.
So they can talk about their experience and what they're doing to reach the community.
Yeah.
Ahead of the election, because although 2026 November 2026 might seem like it's far away, it's going to come here. We've got already some deadlines that are coming up.
Yeah. By the time it's aired, we're filming right now, and so y'all know the budget hasn't passed and Mark Green hasn't resigned. He's told us both those things will happen. It'll pass and he'll resign. So if that happens, then we will be in the middle of a congressional special election throughout this season. So hopefully we'll have some of those folks on.
Yeah, that would be great. So that's how do we flip?
Build power in Montgomery County's diverse communities through solidarity and organizing. So leaning into diversity, equity, and inclusion in our party.
Yeah, and I think we are making more of an effort to include our diverse community. With that, we've got 2 caucuses, the Black Caucus and the Hispanic Caucus, that are, welcoming members all the time. So if you want to be involved with that, go to our website. We'll put the link.
But we're also rolling deep at identity-based festivals. So
yes,
the Juneteenth festival was a big deal. We had a great booth.
Yeah,
Kadeem and Rose had a lot of really good stuff there honoring Black elected officials in our county, but also across the country. And so you'll see similar efforts at the Hispanic Heritage Festival, at Pride, Montgomery County Pride. I think it's October 11th.
It's October? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll really pop off with those.
Yeah. So including people from all around the community. I believe our grassroots team is also trying to reach out to people, maybe not on such a big scale, but on like more of a personal scale. So you'll see that happening.
I do want to say that we were the only political party at Juneteenth. I would imagine Pride will be the same. So,
yeah. Don't remember seeing any Republicans.
They might have been there individually, but they weren't there as a party for sure. So the next one is push Montgomery County and Clarksville in a progressive direction. So for me, I think that means something different to everyone on our party, which is a good thing. But to me, that means making Montgomery County, Clarksville more people powered, make it easier for the working class to thrive in our city, and just making our county city more fair and equitable.
Yeah, I mean, to me, making it more progressive, I think it means encouraging people to unionize where they can.
Hell yeah.
I think it means making supporting our public schools.
Yeah.
Because they are, I would say, under threat right now from the supermajority.
100%.
With the Education Freedom Act that they've passed. And also making sure that people are represented. So right now, we don't have a lot of diverse representation.
Yeah.
So maybe in Clarksville we do, but in the state legislature, it's not.
No.
Diverse. So I think that would be a great place to start.
I think so. And there's a lot of legislative stuff that we can do at the local level. I think we look at the state level and we push up there, and there's a lot of organizing happening, and we hit a brick wall. So that's the opportunity with like getting stuff passed in school board, county commission, city council. Is it doesn't take as much effort for us to get stuff done.
Yeah,
because we're not as at big of a disadvantage. So we can work on things like affordable housing. Well, actually, on the progressive note, we just passed a motion. You weren't there, but I emailed you about it. We passed a motion at our last meeting for the county party to actually go into a period over the next few months to come up with our position on the juvenile detention center.
Yeah.
And so we are concerned about the county's path to building a juvenile detention center. We're worried about the school to prison pipeline. So you as the listeners, we're going to be asking for input from y'all. We'll probably have a public meeting. We'll definitely have an open comments period where you can tell us how you feel. But that's probably the biggest thing we're starting right now is pushing Montgomery County in progressive direction.
Yeah, and that is a very complicated issue. So we don't have time really to talk about it today.
Yeah.
But that is
that would probably be a whole episode.
Probably we could do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
looking at you, Monica Meeks. We need to hear from you on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so
the next one grow the Montgomery County Democratic Party to be the largest political organization in the county.
Yes. And I think we're well on the way.
Yeah.
We have, now that in our nice office here, we have space for, I think, probably 40 or 50 people, and we fill it from...
Yeah, we need a new office.
We do. Or we could have, satellite meetings or something. But we're growing. Our Facebook page is growing. Our online following is growing, and we actually, I feel like we are having, especially since he who shall not be named was elected, we've had more people come forward to volunteer.
So many, yeah.
And I hate that is an incentive for people to get involved, but that's actually how I got involved, and I think you as well.
Yeah.
Got involved in politics because I don't want to live in a world where he's from.
Yeah.
So that's it incentivizes people to come to the Democratic Party. What can we say?
Yeah, and we're growing. We're thankful to y'all. This is one of the first big things we're doing to grow, is to expand our presence online. And the last one is challenge. This is a long one. Challenge authoritarianism, oligarchy, fascism, white supremacy and bigotry, and the erosion of democracy.
Yeah. So living in Tennessee, I feel like we're already deep into the first chapter of Handmaid's Tale. There's been an erosion of reproductive freedoms. LGBTQ community is under attack. They're trying to bring, or they're trying to challenge the secularism of schools, I will say, and the school funding. So it's a big deal here. We're already seeing it, probably more in a more advanced stage than some states.
Yeah, I think Justin Jones put it really well last year that in Tennessee we were already living out the early stages of Project 2025.
Yeah.
We're a test bed for some of the worst ideas, unfortunately.
Oh my God, so many bad ideas.
And so that looks like, how do we challenge that? It's electoral, but it's also showing up. We're probably not going to be the group that plans all the protests. And as the electoral organization, I actually don't think that's our role. I think we take a back seat, but our members are still showing up. We're still helping make sure events are secure, helping them find speakers, all that, trying to show up as partners to folks who want to hold this administration accountable, want to hold this state, this county, this city accountable.
Yeah. And we also help organizations that are doing the work. We help them get the word out for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of our...
If there's a major action that's nationally recognized or state recognized, it's going to be on our events page. So you'll see if I think there's a John Lewis protest in honor of him.
July 17th.
Yeah.
July 9th.
That weekend.
17th.
Yeah. One of the, in that weekend there around commemorating his death. So I think we've got that on our website. I think there's a local, or will be on there.
It will be on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know something's coming up, if you're watching Rachel Maddow and she's talking about a big action coming up, come check out our website. Chances are there's a local version of it, and we're going and we're telling.
And if it's not on there, you can drop us a comment. There is a comment form on the website where you can, just get in contact with us that way. Those go straight into my inbox, so I see them every day.
Yeah.
And I'll respond as soon as I can. But if there's anything that is coming up that we need to be involved in or aware of, you can absolutely let us know, and we'll try and get there and be there.
That's right. So that's our strategic plan for 2026. I'm sure it's going to adapt and grow. We meet about it before every meeting with our executive committee. So if you're on the executive committee, make sure to plug into that. If you've got comments, feel free to send it to officers@mctndp.org about what you think we should be focusing on in our strategic plan.
But also we're trying to keep it streamlined, right? Because it can be easy to get into, writing a book about what we want to do.
Yes.
There's a lot. So we're trying to boil it down into the very simplest iteration of what it is that we can do.
It's about what we can achieve. It's not about what we should be doing, because that's everything.
Yeah. It's what we can change, not what we would like to change. Those are two different things. But there's a lot of things that we can aspire to as well.
Yep.
So I think some of the goals are somewhat aspirational, but as well like practical. So.
Yep.
Fun times.
And we have a history of making big goals and getting them done.
We do. We have come a long way. Goals. All right. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up here today.
Yeah.
So this has been a fun chat again.
It's been good.
And look out for new episodes that will be dropping as usual, because we're going to be on YouTube. So like and subscribe. Have to say that, and make sure that you are following us on all of our social media channels, whether that is your favorite one is here's our pod dog.
Come on, Oz.
Here's Ozzy, so cute. So make sure that you're following us on whichever social media that you like to follow people on: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, and now Spotify. That's the one I forgot. Spotify as well. So it's been great. Thank you for being here with us, Jack and Ozzy. And we'll see you next time.
That's right.